have a new film out, my 89th overall film. It's called The Railgun, Boom and Bust. This is one of those subjects where I have such a command over the information. I've been researching the railgun for 25 years. I mean, I've been researching it for so long that I can remember most. I bet none of you even know this. I've been researching the railgun for so long that I can remember when the railgun was a fringe tinfoil hat conspiracy, the same as the Bilderberg Group. Most people don't even remember this either. The Bilderberg Group and Area 51. Now they're just accepted facts almost, right? I've been researching this. Y'all gotta remember, I started researching in 91 when I was in high school. So that's 34 years. The Bilderberg Group and Area 51 were tinfoil hat deluxe back in the day. Like, you were a certified Looney Tune if you believed either one of those things was real. Now they're just, they talk about them on TV and shit. I'll never forget, this is in the early days show, maybe in the first year of the show, 2007. This is back when I still drank, too. I was going into a gas station one night to get some Miller High Life. And as I'm walking into the gas station to get my six-pack of the Champagne of beers, I look down at the newsstand and I see the Dallas Morning News newspaper. Big, bold letters on the front of the Dallas Morning News newspaper. You know what it says? If I froze in my tracks, like deer in the headlights. It says, Governor Rick Perry attends secretive... Why my mic's cutting out? Cheap $10 thing. I got it fucking Five Below. That's probably why. Hey, it works. That's all I could get. It says, Governor Rick Perry attends secretive Bilderberg Group meeting. On the front page of the Dallas Morning News. In 2007. And like I said, I was just frozen. I couldn't believe it. I went, oh my God. It was like, this is how far we've come. In the time I've been researching and looking at this stuff, they're admitting, I mean, if you believe it was even possible that Bilderberg existed, you were a fucking shithouse rat. You were crazy as fuck. You were tinfoil deluxe. And there it is. Not only are they admitting on the front page of the Dallas Morning News that it exists, they're admitting Rick Perry, the governor of Texas at the time, went. It was one of the craziest moments ever for me. Point being that Area 51, that was the same thing too. Because people forget this, because stuff just, information and stuff just comes and goes so often you forget, but for the longest time, they wouldn't even admit that Area 51 even existed. You were a fucking Looney Tune if you even believed it existed. Forget the aliens and the UFOs or whatever. Even if you believed that the government had a secret facility in the Nevada desert, you were certifiable. Listen, I went out there. I went to Area 51. Filmed for Lost Secrets of Ancient America Volume 2 out there. Y'all, it's fucking weird out there. I saw all kinds of weird shit. They knew I was coming because I had talked about it on the show. Oh, yeah, we had military planes following us all the way into the area around Area 51 and all the way out. Yeah. It was fucking crazy. I got some kind of weird fireball or something on camera. It's in the film Lost Secrets of Ancient America Volume 2, but point being, my newest film, my 89th film, The Railgun, Boom and Bust. The railgun is something I've been researching for over 20 years. And in the beginning, it was an absolute tinfoil hat sci-fi fantasy. And what you will see when you watch this film, which only 2 people have bought so far, this is some of my best writing. I really got the writing right in this one because it's one of those subjects I just know so well. And, the United States canceled their railgun program back in 2021. And, most people, myself included, said, okay, well, it turns out it was a, sci-fi fantasy because they canceled the program, which means they couldn't get it to work. And then last year and then into this year, I started seeing articles and things about how Japan has now created their own railgun program, and all the things that the United States couldn't get right, they fixed. Yeah. It's real, guys. If you watch this film, you're going to see a ton. I really outdid myself on the footage in this one too. I mean, the footage in this of the actual railguns in use is unbelievable. It's only $10. You guys really please get a copy of this immediately because I'm just really proud of this film because it's one of those kind of like Spellcasters was, where I'm just so ensconced in the research and have been for so many years and I know so much about it. It really adds to the quality of the work, and this one is definitely that. The footage in this is killer. My writing in this is killer. And just get the railgun. Okay, so watch the movie, but the problem with the railgun wasn't the design of it, or, if you don't know what a railgun is, it's an electromagnetically charged gun that doesn't have to use gunpowder or some explosive thing to shoot a projectile. It creates an electromagnetic arc that requires a fuck ton of power to use, and then it fires like a slug, like a metal slug. It's a kinetic energy weapon is what it is. You use an electromagnetic pulse to fire. The problem with railguns, and this is typical for the United States and typical for Japan on how they figured out the fix for it to make it work. The U.S., I don't know what you call it. I chalk it up to like U.S., I don't know. America, fuck yeah, America, bitch. I just chalk it up to that kind of thing. If we think we can do something, we just go fucking nuts deep in it and start doing it, really before we really thought it out. So the problem with railguns has always been the material science. The design and the ideology behind it has always been there. But the barrels on these things start to melt and after a couple of fires. So the United States just didn't invest enough time in the material science to figure out the problems, and then they shelved it and put all the funding from the railgun into hypersonic missiles. So what Japan did, and no surprise, because if you know anything about Japan, one of Japan's fundamental, strong points is material science development. Well, that's what Japan did. They said, no, wait a minute. This can work. We just got to do what America didn't do, which is to put time in the material science development and develop the materials to where the durability, America just couldn't get down the ability to make the railgun durable. Japan figured it out, y'all. Watch my film, you'll see the footage of Japan actually firing theirs in my movie. Yeah, you guys really get a copy. This is a really important project to me because it's one of those, and I don't have, I don't know how many more subjects like this I have. I can't think of one off the top of my head right now where it's just, I have such a command over the information. It's good. That's why I've started making more music films this year because, all this information and conspiracies and whatever have you, it is a big part of my knowledge base, but it's not my entire knowledge base.